What's going on, everyone? Happy Red Friday. It's time for another VA mortgage update. Then we're going to do conventional loans too, by the way. For all you civilians out there like me, I'm going to show you how this works. So today we're talking about how does your credit score actually impact your interest rate. I've never built out a comparison like this. I've never looked at it. I've always just said, oh, your credit score is this. These are the corresponding interest rates, but I never looked at what the gap was. So that's what we're going to look at today. How much does your credit score actually impact your interest rate? Before we get into that, your credit score is important. I did a video on this already, so that is linked up here somewhere. To maximize your credit score, 1, always make your payments on time. 2, keep your balances, your credit balances at 30% or lower of your limit. So if you have a credit card that has a $10,000 limit, do not let that balance exceed $3,000. The credit algorithms, I'll call them, like to see that you're not over leveraged, you're not overusing credit. Now, if you have a credit card that has a $500 limit and you throw $500 or $400 on it, that can have a huge impact because it looks like, even though it's a little bit of money, it looks like you're over leveraged. So make sure to keep those balances down. And if you have a low balance credit card, call the credit company and see if they'll increase the limit, because if you have a higher limit, you can put more on the card. So all that being said, let's take a look at exactly how credit scores impact your interest rates. We're going to look at a 580 credit score, a 620 credit score, 680 credit score, and then 800 for veterans. Let's take a peek. All right, folks, here we are. We're looking at 580, 620, 680, and 800. Now, I did zero down using a $400,000 loan to try and cover as many people across the country as I can, kind of a middle ground. So if you have a 580 score today, and today is September 3rd, the interest rate on that on a VA mortgage would be 2.99% without paying any discount points. Discount points are where you pay money to discount the rate lower. Some lenders will kind of, they'll just tell you that you're paying them. They don't tell you there's options. You're not required to pay them. They just do that sometimes to make it look better. Sometimes it's a good strategy, sometimes it's not. But getting back to the details, let's jump back in. Okay, so $400,000 loan, $400,000 purchase price, zero down, 2.99% with a 580 score. The score was just 40 points higher, then the interest rate drops by about 1/4%. That would equate to about a $50 difference in payment. You're $2,200, you're $2,149, about $50. Now, if your score goes from 620 up to 680, the rate only changes by 1/8, so not a huge impact. That's going to be $25. And the reason I did 800 is because from 680 to 800 on a VA loan, the interest rate stays the same. So that's amazing. I honestly never looked at that before. If with the VA loan, if your credit score is between 680 and 850, you can go as high as you want. There's no difference in the interest rate. So yes, you should always make sure your credit score is as high as possible because, well, it doesn't matter for your mortgage necessarily, it will matter for other things. But yet again, another benefit of your VA benefit. 680 score, same exact interest rate as an 850 score. Now, for all of us civilians out there, let's take a peek. Little different game for us. We're gonna look at 20% down on 400,000. I'm keeping the purchase price the same, but 20% down, how does the interest rate change with the same credit scores? Let's look at it. All right, kids, here we go. So same range, 580 score, your interest rate's gonna be 4.375, dramatically higher than what we saw on the VA loan. Now, if you go from 580 up to 620, there is no change for us civilians. On a conventional loan, nothing changes as far as our credit score is concerned. Now, if we bump up to 680, you get a huge change. And remember, on the VA side, there was only 1/8. There was only an 1/8 difference here. But on conventional, the rate changes by 1 1/8%. The payment is $205 different per month by having a difference of 60 points. So lesson learned for us conventional loan civilian folks, you got to keep your credit score at 680 or higher because there's a huge difference if you don't. I don't know why they build it that way. It is what it is. We can't change or control it, so we just deal with what it is. What we're trying to do here is learn how to maximize based on the rules we have to play by. And last but not least, if you had an 800 score, the rate changes by about 3/8. So what are we learning on conventional loans? Being between 620 and 680 is where you get the biggest change. Now, if you go from 680 to 800, there's about a 3/8 difference in interest rate, which equates to about a $70 difference in payment. Is that right? Yeah, about $70. So it equates to about a $70 difference in payment. Now, I used 800 because I used 800 in the previous for the VA side, just to show. If your credit score is 740 or higher on conventional loans, that's what I call tier 1. So tier 1 pricing, meaning I don't care if you have an 800 score, as long as you get the same rates wonderful. 740 on conventional loans is basically the same as having an 850. There's not a huge difference in rates at that point. For VA, just to recap, we saw that once you're above 680 or at or above 680, it's all the same. So that's what I would call tier 1 pricing. You're getting the best rates available. I hope this was helpful. If you guys want to see more, have more questions, let me know what to make videos on. I want to make sure I'm adding as much value as possible. Thank you guys so much. Have a great Labor Day weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.